Listen, Ray, just keep your guard up, man. Don't play, dude.
I know. OTT.
All right.
I know.
Don't be naive. Like, he's shown his true colors, and until I see him that he's all in for us, with like no foot in, foot out, this and that, then like just be careful.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But you're not a dumb guy, so it's all good.
All
right, do your thing.
Goodbye.
All right. We'll talk soon. Bye.
When I met up with you again this year, I'm not gonna lie, Marty, I wanted to be close with you. You know, I sitting our past behind us. You know, we had a really rough past. Like, we had a lot of issues between us way back when. We betrayed each other. We've gone to conflicts against each other. Everything. But when I met you again this year, I was hoping that, things could change. Because when I see you, I see like a pretty strong, I guess you could say, duo. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that it's just us, but, I see a pretty powerful, pretty well-respected, pretty informed group of people.
Right.
And unfortunately, it seems like recently that's been tearing apart a little bit. And it's not to the fault of you or I, but to the fault of other people within our group.
And who would that be?
Well, I mean, like everyone, right? Like, it's just like drama that's, in my opinion, unfortunately, a little bit unnecessary. It's so early, It's like we haven't even been, our group hadn't even been formed for more than 2 weeks. And it seems like we'd been arguing for years.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, I walked away because I didn't want to argue and I didn't want to be in this part of the drama, right? And the day before we met up at the bank, everyone I talked to, and I think I also talked to you, I don't know, I'm a little tired, was like, yeah, like, we're cool, take your time, but we want you back. And I'm like, okay, I mean, I just need time. Oh, in the trailer? Yeah, as well as the day after, right? I know OTT especially said almost that word for word. He's like, yo, we're cool, we want you back, it's not the same without you, but take your time, like, I'm not gonna, like, push you into any direction. I'm like, yeah, cool, I just need time, that's what I need, right? Because the thing is, shit was getting hectic, right? I didn't like the way that one meeting happened over at the laundromat, so I left. Right? I'm like, okay, like, I'm just taking a step back, right? It's getting political. And then I took a step back, and every day after, I've gotten called with a problem, and it's suddenly mine, right? And then I go to the bank, and this is suddenly my problem again. Oh, give us the key back, you're fully out, you're out. Stop it. Okay, take the key then, I guess. Right?
See, that conversation was confusing for me too. That's why I pulled you to the side, if you remember, and asked you, like, did something happen between you and Jean Paul? Because when my impression was there was something that happened, but to find out it was about the crowbar, I get it. I do get it. It's a pretty important tool, I guess you could say. But I mean, to start that argument was, in my opinion, again, a little bit unnecessary. The only thing that I can agree with the boys is that they wanted an answer, or not an answer, but they wanted something back from you, some sort of reception. If that makes sense.
You lost me a little bit there. No, I don't get that.
Well, this is after the math, right? After the talk that we had at the bank, I met up with OTT and Benji.
Well, okay. Well, here's what I don't understand, right? Why even agree to it in the first place? To be like, why not? Like, who made that decision, right? Like, oh, let's go just get the key back. Let's go get the key. I mean, not the key, the ownership back from Marty, and then we'll take it out and whatever, relinquish him completely from the company, right? Like,
I think it was more of a thing that GDP brought up. So GDP told me, Raymond, like, we need to go talk about the crowbar to Marty. I was like, okay. And he's like, listen, if Marty doesn't share the shit with us, like, he needs to be out of the company. I was like, okay. And what does that mean? Like,
but I mean, let me stop you there real quick. The day before, right? The day before, I don't know if you were there, but I let everybody in. We shared the crowbar.
I was not there.
We all went down.
No.
We all went down, and
I was not there, unfortunately.
It was Benji, OTT, X, and then some CG. And I let everybody in.
Yeah,
I just went to sleep a little bit early, but we were sharing it, right? Everything's all fine and dandy. But then it became an issue again. But why? Why is this my like?
I guess the issue is that when we woke up, Jean-Paul called me, and the first thing he asked me was, "Hey Ray, where's the crowbar?" I was like, and then obviously now that you know, I didn't even know we had the crowbar. I was like, "What crowbar?" He's like, Marty has a crowbar. It's supposed to be in the storage. Do you know where it is? I was like, brother, I haven't even been awake. Like, I went to go celebrate New Year somewhere else, you know, then I flew to Los Angeles for New Year. So I had no idea that there was fucking a crowbar in the first place. He's like, all right, well, let's go call Marty and take care of it and see if we can get in the storage. I was like, okay, yeah, it sounds like a good idea. I'm sure Marty would be fine with that. And then when we approached you, it seemed like there was obviously an issue of like, well, what if someone lost it or you don't trust? I don't remember who you said you didn't trust specifically.
I said I needed a key, right? I needed a key, but if I woke up and I needed the crowbar and someone fell asleep with it, I wouldn't put it back in there. I think that's fair, right? Because
yeah, I think it's a fair assessment.
That crowbar was mine and his, and it had basically no fucking use other than just going in the sewers. But now
exactly,
it just happens the fence motherfucker wants to live down there, right? So now everybody wants a piece of it, which is cool. I don't give a fuck, right?
Yeah, it benefits everyone. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but bro, I'm be real. Like, no offense to the company, or whatever. Like, I got that on my own accord. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't like it was like some crazy investment or some shit. Like, it was mine. You know? Like it was not like
right.
When I got it, right? It wasn't a business opportunity. It was just because I wanted to go in the sewers and look around. That was, you know, like that's not that's not a business thing. I have a person that bought it for me at Toe.
How much did he pay for it?
I don't remember.
Oh.
Wait, how much did I pay for it?
Yeah. How much did you pay for it?
Oh, I haven't paid him yet. Nothing yet, technically. But I owe him money.
Oh, shit.
But he's cool. Like, I've known him a while. He was, you know, Zuck?
Of course I know Zuck.
Yeah, it's Zuck. I owe him money, and he knows I'm good for it. So he's not, like, you know, hung up on it, like, needs the money now or whatever. Kind of like
that's something I
owe
you
you thing.
You are someone who pays back his debts, which is nice. You know, that's why I wasn't really concerned about everything until yesterday kind of happened. I wasn't concerned about anything when it came to the home or anything like that. But obviously when we end on an argument, I was a little bit disheartened. So it's good that's why I wanted to talk to you today.
But that's the thing, right? Like, what happened, right? So it was an issue about the crowbar, right? And the crowbar was never an issue until now, right? Which I still didn't get because we were sharing it literally the day before, okay? And then it spiraled, It's like, okay, instead of the crowbar, just give us the house back. Okay, what just happened? And then you stood there and you're like, yeah, you know, you ran with it. You're like, all right, I'll give you 5,000. You gives you 4,500. This is that money back. This is that. Like, well,
I guess it was a preconceived notion that if you didn't share the crowbar, which under the impression I got from Jean Paul was a company asset, you know, I came into that thinking it was a company asset, and if someone is in the group is not sharing something with the company that's supposed to be an asset that we are supposed to use, I mean, I'd agree with him, right? At that point, I was under the impression you were out.
But why do you just instantly believe him and not ask me? That's the thing. That's the thing, right? At that point, at that point, at that bank, 100%, it wasn't a discussion. It was an accusation. That's the big problem I had.
What do you mean?
It was an accusation, as if like, oh, you didn't come in and be like, hey, oh, by the way, like, give the crowbar, like, we don't know if it's like supposed to be in storage. Like, how are we gonna share it, right? It wasn't a question or like a discussion. It was an accusation. Like, why is the crowbar not here? We need it here now, right? And then I'm like, okay, but if someone fucks around with it too much, I don't want to keep it in there, right?
Yeah.
And then it spiraled into this whole big thing. So the thing is, that's the point, right? I came in there and I didn't bring my shield, but you guys brought your swords. You see what I'm saying?
I suppose, yeah. But remember I'm telling you now, just to clear things up.
But I'm asking why though? Like, why am I like?
I cleared it up.
The bad guy.
Marty, you're not the bad guy. I'm trying to clear that up now, right? I told you I was under the impression that I thought it was a company asset. It was something that was supposed to be shared by all of us.
But why didn't you ask me? Like, why did you just believe that?
I mean, when I brought it up, I mean, it's not like you said to me, Ray, it's not yours or it's not his. You just said it was between you and Jean Paul, which both company members, you know, why wouldn't you want to share it with the company? So obviously, from my perspective, when I'm hearing that, okay, if it's something that is yours and Jean Paul's and you're both members of the company, why the hell would you not share it, you know? It's just something that, I guess, maybe me, the way I would handle is anything I get, I would share with both of you, you know? If we're in the group together. That's why I didn't even think to ask it.
But okay. But when that conversation was being had, I explained that it was something that I got before the company was like fully intact, right? Before we even had goals, like set goals ready to go, right? And after that, right? Let's just put that our thing to the side. After that, John Paul is like, okay, fuck it, we just want the house back, right? You sat there and you agreed, right? So still, again, it's like an attack. You had your sword. I didn't have shit. Like,
Yeah, Jean Paul, like, just explain clearly. Jean Paul won the home back because he didn't trust that if you didn't want to share any assets together, like, why would we not just take the home and not worry about potentially the keys being changed? Listen, that's a realistic, and you know this, Marty, it's a realistic situation that could happen. You could literally go to the key fob and change it. I'm not saying you would, but it is realistic that if you didn't want to share any assets, or a single asset even for that matter, that you might do that in the future. And
okay,
that's what Jean Paul thought.
and do you have so you think so you really think Jean Paul thinks that I would rob the entire company?
Do I think that Jean Paul thinks he would? Or
That
he
I would. Yeah.
I don't know what Jean Paul. I can't imagine what goes through his
And you
mind.
think that there is a possibility that I ever would?
Well, I've only known you for a few weeks, Marty, so I have no idea.
But do you have any reason to believe at this time, based off of every single action and decision I've made, that I would ever do that?
I can't answer that in good heart. Like, you got to think about this, Marty. The Marty I knew 5 years ago was different than the Marty I see in front of me now, right?
Right. But we had our
I have no idea.
we had our discussion at the laundromat. I said fuck all of you. I said fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. And then I told you after that Jean Paul had a gun out when he caught up to me, when he was chasing me, and I still didn't do anything. So what would it take if all that transpired and I didn't take anything from the company? What would it take for you to do for me to steal from the company?
I don't know.
Exactly.
Here's the thing.
It would probably be something pretty damning, like you trying to kill me or actually like kill somebody that I care about, right? So at that point,
And I won't do that.
at that point, am I the bad person? If you try to kill me and I take a few $1,000s, does that make me the devil?
No, let's take this a step back. I never called anyone a bad person. Listen, to be honest, I think all of us are not good people. But when it comes to morals, in terms of our group, I don't think you're someone who's going to betray us. You get what I mean?
So
No.
why would you ever raise the possibility from ever being a thing?
Well, I'm raising the possibility because I'm going to be real, Marty. There's going to be a time where you're going to have to choose the company or not. And that time is coming. And I really want you to understand that the boys want you in the company. I'm sure that you know this. I mean, they told you directly. OTT said the same thing. Benji said the same thing. And even Jean Paul said the same thing. I mean, I don't know if you know this, but I talked to JP. After the argument where he chased you down with the gun, I talked to him and I said, with the other boys, that no matter what, give Marty a little bit of time. Just like he had said under the heat that he didn't want to be in the company anymore and he didn't care about the rest of the boys. I understand he said that. He was pissed off that day. And the same thing with you. Like, you got to give Marty some time. And you know what? Jean Paul agreed. He agreed that we're not removing you from the company.
I never said I don't care about the company or care about the boys. I never said that.
I'm saying Jean Paul said that.
Oh.
Yeah, I think you misheard me. I'm saying that, JP, you said that. Everyone says shit in bad moments when they're angry. Just give Marty a chance. And JP agreed. That's why we didn't, there's no one removed you. No one ever said anything about that. That's why we were giving you time. JP even agreed. The rest of the boys wanted you back.
Okay. What? I still don't get why there would ever be a possibility that I would ever do anything, and why that was even brought up in the first place.
Well,
right, like at Bay City, you brought up that opportunity that I have the potential of doing something like that.
Well,
but,
to be honest,
but
Marty,
why?
let's say this. Use me as an example. What if I did that? What if I had the house? What if I had the house under my name? And what if I told the rest of the company, including you, that I want to take a step back? And then what if I went and started talking to Lang more, or I went and started talking to other groups more? There would be that suspicion that I could take the home and betray them.
What groups have I spoken to?
I don't know, Marty. The thing is, I haven't seen you over the last 2-3 days, so, the possibility of you talking to other people is realistic at that moment when I was already upset, which was yesterday.
Okay, well, so, okay, so, I mean, I don't even know where to start with that. That's a lot to dissect right there.
Yeah, I get it. And that's why it's it's a reality that anyone can betray anyone, especially this early on.
No. I don't think you understand what I'm telling you. Okay, there's a few things. When I sat down, when it was us, right? Remember that one meeting where Yuna left a little early?
Yeah, the one in the trailer.
I was sitting down, no, at the top of the laundromat before the
yes.
big meeting.
Yeah,
I
you're
was
right.
sitting down at the top of the laundromat with all of you, and I said, if anything ever falls apart, if anything ever goes wrong, I want you guys to know I will make sure everything is right in terms of no snaking, no scamming, this, that, and the
money.
fourth,
Yeah,
right?
right. You said that.
Because that's not fair, right? And all things all these things have transpired, and suddenly there's a chance that I may have talked to a different group that has somehow convinced me to just become a scammer for all these people. Why? I don't like that. That's just another assumption that that you're like accusing me of, and well, how's that fair?
Well, Marty,
I've been working fucking group 6, bro.
I think there's a difference between an assumption and a possibility. You would agree with me, right? I didn't assume that you would.
But I don't think you have any. I don't think you have any reason to assume I would be of any harm to the company in any capacity. I think that is such an unfair, like, thought.
Okay, but that thought came to Jean-Paul's mind, and all I did was just accept reality. Accept the fact that it could be a possibility that happens, and not accusing you that it was a possibility. Not accusing you that you are someone who betrayed the company.
Okay.
I mean, something
okay,
did happen
but
recently
why?
which
But
did
what?
confuse me,
But why does it matter what Jean-Paul thinks? Okay, I have told in front of you guys, I didn't make this decision because I wanted to ask all of you first, because I don't want to make a decision based on unless the company wants to make that decision. I have
You saying
proven.
when you sent the phone call?
No, bro, at multiple meetings. I have proven over and over again, every single step of the way, that I was trying to do things for the company. That was it, right? I did my part. I had a whole fucking spreadsheet, made sure everything was accounted for, everyone had their fucking
correct.
piece. You wanted to put in more money, we're gonna make sure your money gets paid back first. Every
say that.
single thing I've done has been pure good intention, so it is completely unfair for you to take Jean-Paul's random, out of the fucking blue judgment call and be like, yup, all right, fuck it, let's just go with that. Based off of
Marty,
every single 100 fucking
right.
steps, I took 100 steps up, and one little fucking accusation or thought from Jean-Paul, and it all crumbled. How is that fair?
You're right.
How can
Marty,
listen? If I'm not part of the company, right? Take me out of the picture. What happens, Ray, when Jean-Paul accuses you of something?
You're right.
How will you feel?
You're right. Marty, you're right. It's not fair.
So
And you're asking
how
me,
can
you're
you?
asking me like, why am I taking the man of someone? Well, the reason is, even though Jean-Paul said all those things, even though Jean-Paul said he didn't want to be in the company anymore and he doesn't like people that are in the company, he still hasn't taken the action to betray anyone.
He never said all that.
Isn't that what you said to me? And the rest of the people on the
No.
rooftop?
No.
What did he say verbatim? He said that to us yesterday in the cul-de-sac.
No, I didn't say that. I said I don't even remember what the fuck I said. I remember I touched on it very extremely briefly, and then I said the best thing for you to do is just talk to X about it. Like, I'm not gonna like put words into his mouth or like butcher his opinion. But what I remember when I was sitting there, I remember when I
talking about?
touched on it. I
Why? He
remember
literally
like,
told this on the roof. Why is he
foreseeing
lying right now?
the end, even though that wasn't like some sort of fucking confirmation. And then I sat there and I said, even if Jean-Paul did want to leave and just straight up just dip out, like, the company can still work as 6. And if somehow I left, it would still work as 5. I remember that very clearly. I never said, oh, Jean-Paul hates everybody here or doesn't like anyone or doesn't like these people and this, that. Like, it was like you know, if anything ever goes wrong,
Okay.
kind of thing.
I think this
I'm
is
not
not.
saying things are wrong.
You're right. Maybe this is not the even part to be discussing right now. The main important things that we're discussing right now is the home, the way that yesterday ended, and resolving things. Because Marty, I don't want you to be my enemy, nor do I want you to be the company's enemy, nor do I really want there to be even this argument happening right now. To be honest, if I had the choice, I'd have you by my side the rest of the way. You know what I mean? But obviously that choice is not up to me. It's up to you. It's up to the other people in the company. If I could have it my way, well, you already know what I want, Marty. And the problem is now we're at a divide where the house jeopardy is in jeopardy, and there's drama, and people don't even want to talk to each other, which is just beyond me, because I've dealt with things, and you too, Marty, have dealt with things that were substantially more aggravating or actual real problems, and it hasn't even been this much of a headache. I've dealt with people that I care about dying, being killed by other people that were super important and close to me, and I've dealt with those easier than I'm dealing with this situation. Unfortunately, this is overblown. Unfortunately, we can't just deal with this simply, and that's why everything happened the way it did yesterday. And you think I want to go up to you, someone who hasn't done me wrong in the recent times, and tell you that I want the house back from you? Hell no, I didn't want to do that. I was uncomfortable the entire time. Well, sometimes in life you have to be uncomfortable, and yesterday that was one of those times.
Okay, so if it made you uncomfortable, how do you think that made me feel, buddy?
And that's why I'm here talking to you now.
Okay.
And I want to apologize, Marty. And I don't do this often. Trust me when I say that.
Okay. But I mean, you still haven't answered my question, right? What do you think happens when one day Jean-Paul accuses you?
Well,
or one day Jean-Paul accuses Benji?
You're right, and it probably will happen. Right? I remember I was in the Clean Boys with them, and stuff happened, like arguments happened. Like, at the end of the day, I take one day at a time. When it happens, I'll deal with it then. And it probably will happen. But I'm not going to sit here and think about that now, because if I do that now, it's going to cause some, the structure, the foundation of this company to even be worse. We already have our problems. I don't need to bring them up to people, See, the thing that I learned over the years of being in the Clean Boys with X is that he's very in the moment type of things. I mean, he used to be his best friend. He says things in the moment, but depending on how things go the next day, he could forget what he said.
Okay.
And I just want to, fuck, you know what I want, Marty. That's why we're talking about it now.
What?
Well, if you want me to be straight with it, I want to know what your plan is. Like, what is your plan?
Work at Group 6, I guess. I don't have an active plan right now. I don't get what you mean.
Well, I want to know, like, straight up, Marty. Are you? I'm not trying to make you choose, because I'm not one who does. I'm not giving you an ultimatum. This is not an ultimatum, but I want to know, like, what's your plan going forward? You have every single asset in your name within the company. You have everything. You have the power to do literally anything you want. I know you're not going to, but you do have that power. You are essentially the king of the kingdom right now. You have legitimately everything in your hands. And I just want to know what you plan to do.
Oh, I mean, I already said this before, right? I said this from the start. As soon as every single person in the company is done lying to themselves and everyone around them, we can talk it all out.
So I talked with OTT and Benji yesterday, and they said that the same thing. They want you back. OTT is concerned. I mean, if you want his true feelings, he's concerned about the home because it's been so long since you've spoken to him. He's
never reached out to me.
That's not true. Yesterday he actually tried to talk to you, and you told me you were busy.
Oh, that was him.
Yeah.
Fuck. Today when I saw his twat, when I saw his twat, I was like, damn, was it OTT or Benji that wanted to talk to me?
Yeah, it was OTT.
And I was like, I already talked to OTT, so it must be Benji. But yeah, no, okay, I could talk to him, but it was only a day.
Yeah, he was.
I talked to him the day before though.
He was worried.
And then he told me, well, why would he be worried though? Because the last thing he told me was, "You take all the time you need. We'll be here waiting."
Yeah,
I guess like I think that was like the last sentence he told me.
Yeah, OTT. I mean, you got to think about it. In his mind, if you don't even want to, one day you don't want to speak to him, he thinks that I mean, it would be me too, right? If someone didn't want to speak to me for a day or two or something, he would assume that something happened between us.
But the thing is, I didn't say I didn't want to speak to him. I told him that I was caught up in the middle of something. I'm pretty sure I was in a police chase.
Yeah, he just.
Or I was getting pulled over or some shit.
I have no idea. Remember, I don't know context. He called me when I was on the phone with him today. He said he was concerned. He's very concerned, actually.
Okay, I mean, I guess I can clear that up because I have no idea why he would be concerned.
Okay. I mean, the only thing that concerns me right now, Marty, there's two things that concern me right now. What your plans are, because obviously you reported to me.
I just told you.
I know. I'm telling you straight up. That's why I came and talked to you. Number one, the things that concern me right now are what your plans are, because you're important to me and to other people in the company. Number two, what happens with the home, because it's something that we've all invested into. That's it.
I mean, well, the second question we can answer together once like I said, everyone at the company is ready to stop lying to themselves and everyone around them, and we all sit down and talk honestly.
So you want us to all meet up today?
And if everyone's willing to talk truthfully and honestly, yeah, I'm down, 100%.
Okay. Are you going to be awake for a while today?
Indubitably.
Okay, that's good. I like that word.
Yes, it means like, of course, 100%, basically.
Okay. Well, let's have a forecast today. I mean, is there anyone that you wouldn't want there?
No, everyone should be there.
Okay, let's do that today. And just to ask ahead of time before we get there, if everyone agrees that the home essentially is moved, I don't know, not to, like, would that piss you off? You know, if it's moved to either I or OTT or anyone that they trusted with, would you ever be upset about the people in the company with that?
Well, what's the reasoning?
The reasoning is people want it to be under someone who's full in for the company.
Well, I mean, okay, so let's say at that meeting, right? If everyone there is honest with themselves, right? I would assume more than likely, right? If we can all figure it out and everyone wants to stay in the company, I would assume more than likely I would want to stay as well. So, here we go.
Oh.
Problem solved. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the thing, right? I don't think you get it. Everyone, I feel as if almost every single person that was standing there at that meeting was lying to themselves or the people around them, or both. So, how am I expected to work with a bunch of people that are just lying?
Okay, not to overstep or anything, but what do you mean by lying to themselves? I actually don't understand that.
I mean, I don't think you were. I don't remember if you were one of them, but I don't think you were one of them.
Oh.
So, I think everyone else at that meeting knew.
Knew something I didn't know.
No. I'm saying like knew if they were lying to themselves or not.
So I wasn't lying to myself, but everyone else there was?
I don't remember the meeting 100%.
Oh. So you think like Benji and OTT and all of them were lying to themselves about like if they still wanted to be all in or not?
Listen. How about, as long as everyone agrees to stop lying to themselves and everyone else around them, we meet up. And then I'll make a judgment call there. I can't tell you exactly what perspired and what I thought and what I perceived. All right, I don't remember.
Okay, I'm gonna do that today, Marty. I will go and tell people that. But just, if they ask me what they mean by or what you mean by lying to themselves, should I just tell them like?
If they don't know what it means, then I guess it doesn't apply to them, right?
Okay. Do you think there's anyone specific that I should be aware of that was lying to themselves?
Nope.
Okay. All right. Well, let's try to set up a meeting today. You know, guess the least I could do is, I know these roles don't actually have meanings or anything like CEO, but I guess I could, as a COO, I could fucking sit there and get everyone together, at the very least.
Yeah.
If I don't have the power to do that, I don't have the power to do anything.
Okay. Well, I mean, just let me know, all right?
Yeah, I got you, Marty. I mean, OTT's around now. Benji will probably be around later. I'm sure and Mickey and John Paul will be around today too. Let's get out here.